Alright, just getting things started. I see you, Andrew. I'll be looking. Oh, actually, I got some action on the screen right now. Thanks for joining us, Andrew. And be sure if you got something. So basically, my name is Adam Atropolis. I'm an instructor here at 343 Labs, Ableton Live Certified Trainer. And we are hosting these sessions every Saturday to give you a chance to have someone listen, give you some, if you have any suggestions on your track, your mix, your sound design, whatever it may be, whatever you need help with. I think that's one of the hardest things with music production, is finding that trusted ear. So we're hoping to provide that for you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing here for the next hour. You can submit your tracks to my email at atropolis@gmail.com. Let me see what we got over here. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you're going to be sharing some of your music. Let me make sure I gotta get my ability to talk to you guys directly so I can send you some information. For some reason, Thomas, if you can hear me, just put my email in the stream. I don't know why it's just not giving me the ability to. Hello, Bella, how you doing? So yes, Atropolis at 343labs.com. That's where you can send your track. It's first come, first serve. And yeah, we're just going to be kicking it off. So Andrew or Bella, if you guys have something you want to share, you could drop the link inside this chat, but if you don't want to share that private link or with, whatever it may be, please email it to me, Atropolis. Oh, what's good, Sean? Atropolis at 343labs.com is where you can send your song, and then I'll go check it out. Yes, awesome. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a feedback sessions today. So if you want to send a song that you have finished, a work in progress, anything of your own productions that you want some listening, for me to take a listen, we're all gonna take a listen, and I'm gonna talk about it if I think there's anything. So I'm gonna switch over to my email. Keep an eye open for it. Again, Atropolis at 343labs.com. Let me get to my email. I'm keeping an eye on the chat as best as I can, but I also want to keep an eye on emails. So yeah, Sean, I saw you just joined us, Bug Tank. So if you got something, you already got my email. Still waiting for folks to get in here. And yeah, I'll be looking at my phone. For some reason, the text is a little strange on the laptop. So, still here, still waiting. Atropolis at 343.com, 343labs.com. That's the email. That's my email. I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer here at 343 Labs. And I'll be doing these sessions with you guys every Saturday for a little bit. And as we're waiting for these tracks to come in, again, we're giving feedback. So you're going to email me the track or post a link here. And we're going to play the track. We're going to be streaming it live. So Andrew, Bug Tank, Bella, anybody. And for those of you who are maybe new, joining us for the first time, don't know much about 343 Labs, we have every day there's something free that you can learn from us or participate in. But we do have proper courses. So if you do want to kind of check out our virtual classes, we will also be hopefully opening up our physical space soon. Make sure to go to 343labs.com to see all our different courses. So I heard my email. Oh wow, Vinny coming in. Sly man. I don't see Vinny in the chat at all, but he knows my email. So I mentioned it is first come, first serve. We're going to kick this thing off. Please let me know if you're having any issues with the audio. Streaming can be a little interesting these days. Hi Vinny, how you doing, bud? So yeah, streaming, just give me a shout. I'm gonna hit play. and then I'm going to flip it over. You guys will see this awesome track by one of our star students, Vinny Conte, who has been crushing it. Got this really fresh original sound. Really looking forward to checking this out. Vinny came and studied with us, I guess what, almost a year, 2 years ago, and is now making some awesome strides with his productions, getting himself out there and keeping consistent with his work. So let's see what he's got. I am going to hit play. We'll hear a little bit of a lag, and then I'll flip the screen. So let's check it out, and just let me know if you guys are not hearing this. One second. Having a bit of a lag between switching, hitting play. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Let me switch it back so you guys can see my face. All right, awesome, man. Very cool. I guess, Vinny, let me see. You got anything specific for us, Vinny? I do have some things I want to share. What's up? What's good? What's good, Nathan? How you guys doing? Everyone is in the club right now, and we got some folks lined up. So, again, this is a feedback session. For those of you who are joining us, you can submit your tracks to Atropolis at 343labs.com. We got Victor up next. But before we get into that, let's talk about this track. So if there's anything specific, sometimes folks have something, they're like, oh, what do you think of my mix or my bass or my this or my that? So whatever that thing may be, bring it up. If you don't have a thing, of course, I'll talk about something if I think there's something to talk about. So I do think there are things to talk about. Awesome. So I think you have a lot of really solid ideas in there. I really love the tonal attributes to the song and the strings, how it evolves into the strings. You have this cool like flutes in the second half of the song. You have a lot of really great ideas. It starts to wander a little bit. I'm trying to see. Kind of, so you have this really cool like rock drum sample with the toms, and you're using it really well, but after a while it feels like your use of drum loops starts to kind of overpower your awesome original ideas. And I support sampling. I support using drum loops. Of course, I'm an avid Splice user, and I'm very aware of all the different drum loops out there and familiar with a lot of the drum loops that you use. But beyond that, I just felt like you started to kind of just like, oh, here's a reggaeton drum loop. Let me just like throw that in there towards the end. I felt like your use of drum loops started to get a little too wondrous, and the story. I think you can resample your drum loops a little bit better. So like the rock drum loop, the main one that's used throughout, I feel like you start to kind of rely on it too much. And it feels a little tiresome, the repetitiveness, and like it kind of slows down what you got going on. So I feel like you have a lot of awesome stuff going on structurally with the tonal stuff that you've added. I think your drum loops need to be worked on. I think the rock drum loop with the toms that serves to be like the backbone of this track for most of it could use a little variation. I think the way you bring in that dembow reggaeton drum loop in the second half of the section felt a little forced and random. Your transitions needed a little smoothing in the middle section. And then some of the kicks felt a little popped out of the mix a little too much. So that's my advice. I think you have some really awesome original ideas with the tones, with the I'm not sure what you're using. If you're using some nice sample packs, MIDI with some nice sample packs, or just nice sample packs or nice loops. I really like what you have tonal wise. I just think you can work on the drum production, work on maybe massaging and making those samples a little bit more unique to you, and also maybe back off on the variation of samplings, or maybe be a little bit more thoughtful, or create your own cool reggaeton drum sample, because that one just has such an imprint to it, and the way you bring it in just didn't feel right to me. So that's where I'm at, Vinny, with the track. I think it's got some really awesome, it's got your original touch to it, it's got that classic Vinny movement. You know, you always have these kind of like cinematic tracks that really go on these journeys, and what I shared with you is the areas that I felt could use a little work. Other than that, I think it sounds great, man. So let me pop into the chat and see if I've been running my mouth too much. Let's see. Just looking. Yeah, man. Well, I hope that helped, Vinny. Take a listen, see what you think. See if you could do some interesting things with those samples. All right, I said first come, first serve. I'll switch over so you guys can see. I wish the Ecamm app would just stay floating. All right, so Victor is next, and then Mishpat, you will be following that. Okay. Oh, what's good? CHDV coming back in the house. Cool. Going through the Spotify. My bad. CHDV. Here we go. So, okay, hold up. Let me just make sure. Victor, do you want to specify? We might be able to get to two. I feel like we listened to one of them Was that all I want? Let me just hop into the chat. So I just want to specify you got 2 tracks oh, we got 3 tracks lined up. So just tell me which one. Let's start with one, and maybe we can do a round if there's time. Looking for the Victor. Here he is. Hi there. Hey, what's up? What's up? Yeah. So just let us know which of that. Yes. So need a dance. Okay. Dope. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna switch back. We gotta do a little dance. You gotta see me real quick. I gotta hit play and then switch back. Oh, let's open this. Cool. right. Nice. Nice coming through with that solid full on production. Alright, let me switch this back. Thank you, thank you. Let me get me back. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. This Ecamm Live image looks a lot like my Apple now. Awesome. So when I'm looking at my phone, I'm just keeping an eye on the chat. My chat drops out a little bit from time to time, as it did right now. So just joining to see where everyone's at, see who is with us. All right. So CHDB, do you have anything specific? If you don't, that's okay. I have some very minor notes, some small details. These are things that I'll miss from time to time. And I just want to put this one thing out there for everybody that's making music. Like it's never finished. There's always something to be worked on, and like there are things that I'll look back on my own productions, tracks that are already out in the world, tracks that have been licensed, placed in commercials, put in playlists, whatever it may be. I'll listen to my tracks and be like, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. So just for the producers that are going nuts over not finishing tracks, or like finish your tracks, try to finish them as best as you can, and just know that you're always going to be working on them. And these little things that I'm pointing out to you right now, CHDB, they're very minor, and these are things that like you're good. Like honestly, these are just things. These are more biased feedbacks. Based on my own personal tastes. So these aren't things that you don't have to necessarily follow. Maybe one. So I have 2 things I want to share with you. So in the beginning, you have this tom drum that's on like a 16th note pattern. I would just kind of play it back. But in the 1 minute to 3 minute, you have a tom drum that I felt like could have been a little louder for the style of music that it is. It's a personal thing. I love tom drums, and I love the rhythm that you had in that tom drum. And it's audible, it's good. You do have these synths that come in that really speak loudly. So it's just food for thought. Very small tweak on the mix is thinking that tom drum. Now around 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you have these vocal stabs, these little vocal like chop vocals. Some of them kind of pop out a little bit of the mix, and it was around 3 minutes. Other than that, in terms of the arrangement, the mix for the most part was pretty tight, like your other tracks. The track for the style and for the song length, this is the song length you're going to want to see for the style of music. You do a good job with your arrangements, moving from sections to sections with your transitions and keeping the momentum going. This track for me had more of a journey and had more development going on. And I think you did a really good job keeping that movement happening. So that was my minor tip with the mix. I felt like the tom drum in the beginning, and I felt like some of the vocal stabs around the 3 minute mark before you're kind of transitioning into one of the final drops. You should just kind of check them out. So let me see what's going on in the chat. Get some pointers. Yeah. So you got those are 2 things. I was a little curious about the kick, the overall kick, and the feeling of bass. Also, that was another thing. These are things, again, like it's an environment. Listening is a deep process, and a lot of times I do like to, when I'm with my students, when I'm with you guys in a classroom, I do like to spend a little bit more time. Initially, and also trying things out on different systems. Initially, I felt like the bass and the kick in the beginning, you bring in the bass eventually. I was just curious about the kick a little bit. It has a very I'd just be curious to pop a bell filter around like 60K maybe in the beginning section, just a little bit. So overall, it's a solid track. I have just like some minor mixing pointers to give you, but bigger picture things in terms of the arrangement and the flow ideas, I think you're slipping in good. So I'm gonna pop over. Thanks for sharing. Always enjoying these tracks. Thank you so much, Vinny, and Thank you so much, Victor, for sharing. So I'm gonna flip it over. Let's see who we got lined up. All right, here we go. Let's flip it. Let's flip it. Let's flip it. Let's see. Let's go into the. Oops. Let's go into the mail. Let's see who we got next. All right, Mishba. Here we go. Boom. All right. So cool. This is the third track you've made. Congratulations. Keep on making the music. You guys, if you come and study at 343 Labs, check out our courses at 343labs.com. And I always tell my students, I mean, you could come and participate. We got things going on every day. There's so much free knowledge that 343 Labs is providing on a daily basis, whether it's music theory or techno productions, or learning about hardware, or learning about house music productions, or tips and tricks from dolltr, whatever it may be. But if you want to go deeper with us and take our courses, our virtual courses, check out 343labs.com. I'm bringing this up right now because I'm sharing a little bit about the email of this track that we're about to share, and they're sharing that this is the third track that they've made. So one of the things, I'm just getting into the production side and giving you guys just like a heads up when it comes to like making music and studying music. The best thing you can do if you come and join us at 343 Labs, or if you just join us on our online stuff, whatever it may be, the best thing you can do is to just make the music. So you can even come do our full program, and if you don't do anything beyond our program, like make the music at home, you're not really going to get or see any progress. A lot of the progress you're going to see is just through making the music. So I'm really excited to check out the third track, Mishba, that you've ever made. It's awesome. Let's see what we got. So let me get it dialed up real quick, so you guys can see what we got. Let me just get it real quick. Oh, did I go to project 3? This is it. Awesome. Okay, so I gotta switch it one more time, just getting everything lined up to play the dance. And let's flip it. I'm gonna hit play and flip it back. So here we go. right, all right. Go. Let's flip it. Let's flip it. I mean, I do want to pull up. Do want to pull up Ableton Live just to talk about some things. This is also just really helpful for everybody. Let me also just make sure everyone can hear me. So yeah, we're just gonna look at some stuff. So that was a track by Misbah Mayan, and that was the third track that they've produced. So that is awesome. Well done. Full track from point A to point B. That's the best thing. So congratulations. Like, that is a finished track, right? You got the full story, the full effect. You got the sections, the transitions. So I would say just keep on going, keep on making the music. Now, things to think about, like whether or not you want to apply this to this track or apply this to the next track. So you got to look at every track as like a stepping stone. You know, for me, even myself, every like 3 to 4 months, I've grown. I've gotten better. I'll look back at tracks every 3 to 4 months, and I'm like, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. So, and that's what I wanted to get into, like this whole, it's always a work in progress. And the best thing you can do is finish a track. Even if it's not good, the best thing you do is finish a track. Because you just learn so much from it. So again, like I'll give people feedback. I'm like, well, you might be emotionally finished with the track. I think it's a finished track. But I will point out some things that you can either work with on this track or say, hey, you know what? I'm going to try this out on my next track and keep on growing. So some of the things to look out for. For this style of music where we have this like kind of future bass type of vibe going on with this, you know, big kind of slower snare rhythm, one thing that and this is a little bit more on the technical side, you should look into sidechain compression. And I would recommend doing some sidechain compression across the board on all of your synths. You have a lot of kind of these really big kind of frequency occupying sounds for your tonal stuff. And mix wise, like you can hear everything, but with this type of rhythm, with this type of music, it's not mandatory. It's always like a stylistically thing, but I do believe you should try out the sidechain snare and have that snare, basically I would group together. So just to like, this might take, let me just also check out what we got lined up on deck. I'm just trying to gauge our time, because I was gonna hop onto, hold on guys. Okay, yeah, so this is, right now we don't have anyone lined up. And I do see some folks in the chat, like Vincent and Caroline. If you guys are still with us, thanks for joining us. So yeah, we might run into some interesting audio things, but I am going to, and Thomas, please text me or call me, but I'm flipping over here, okay, and I want to go over here, and let's see what we got. Let's see if this is going to work. It should. So, tips. This could be helpful for everyone, and as of now, we have no one else to line up. So, and maybe if you know about sidechaining, maybe you don't need to watch this. But maybe you do know about sidechaining, but don't really know how to think about it. So, and if everyone's with me, let's go ahead. We'll grab wavetable. Awesome. I'm gonna be lazy. I love using my MIDI effects. I love using my C minor. Actually, yeah, I'll get my chord and my scale device just to make some chords for me. Okay, so we got this little idea. Right? And maybe you have like, maybe you have a bunch of different layers. I'm just gonna duplicate that and maybe have an analog, a detuned analog synth on the other one. A nice Nice little filter sweep. Right, and let's just do one more layer just to really knock it over the head to this whole grouping thing. I'm gonna go to my packs. If you are an Ableton Live Suite owner, you might not realize you have like just endless sounds waiting for you. So you're gonna go to your packs over here, and you can type in session strings, and you have these amazing orchestral sounds that you might not even know about, and you just have to download them. Session or orchestral, excuse me. Orchestral strings. Hey, oh, I didn't have mine installed. Alright, that's taking too long. So my apologies. I just want to get some layers on here. Let's do operator, whatever. So I have these three things, right? I have these three different layers, right? And what I'm suggesting is to do a side chain on your snare and potentially even the kick, honestly, just to kind of get a little bit more space because it's such a sparse rhythm. And let me just check my email, so no submissions yet. So just talking about a simple sidechain. Now you're probably around 150, I don't know, or maybe you're half that. But that we have a snare falling or a clap falling on every three, right? Every third bar. Get some kicks in there. If you have trouble with your rhythms, 16th note would be your best grade. I'm honestly not thinking about this. I just know a 16th note's gonna do me well. And okay. Comments. Did we lose connection? Are we here? Just seeing. Thomas, are we on this? I'm just seeing. Did I lose you guys? Okay, no problem. So we are still here and going back. So just talking about a sidechain scenario, I guess we just lost our connection in here. Okay, cool. So lots of stuff happening. Check this out. So I'm going to highlight these things. Command G, I'm going to put it into a group. I'll just call this synths. And I'm going to put my compressor on this. I'm going to put a audio effect called compressor onto my synths. And I'm going to open up my sidechain. And I'm going to say, hey, sidechain, go to the drum kit. And please go to the clap. Pre-effect. And so this is a suggestion. If you were listening to this feedback session, this is a long answer. If you listen to that track, I'm suggesting to put a sidechain on your synths to your clap so you get this. Check out the difference. Okay, so you get this kind of breathing and it's space, and it's something when you have like a future bass or hip hop, you can even create two instances of these because often the kick and the snare aren't falling together, and you can create this. So that's something that I think the track needs. Another thing that I think the track needs, and if you're not playing with this, I don't know why it opens up like this anymore. I gotta resave this thing. But one thing you also need to do is cut some of your lows. You need to cut out some of your lows. You have a lot piling up on the low end. So mixing wise, the track needs a little mixing. And this is what we have. It's called a high pass filter. It allows for high frequencies to pass. And essentially you need to start cutting out some of your low frequencies. Okay, that's something you need to start doing. You also have too much reverb, which is the best thing. We love reverb. It sounds really nice, reverb. You know, we're like, you know, we start putting reverb on things and we're like, oh man, and it sounds so good. And we put too much. You have a little too much reverb happening. So that's like, the song, it's really good arrangement wise. You have the full thing. Sidechain compression is technical. It's, you know, you gotta just learn the steps, and once you get it, it's a way to create space. And for this style of music, it's a really great way to make that kick and snare cut through the mix and make your synths kind of bounce a little bit more. You need to start using some high pass filters. This is a high pass filter. You need to start cutting. This is the EQ8. Okay, it's called EQ8. And this is I gotta re-edit my default setting, but it's gonna load. Start playing with the EQ. It's one of the more straightforward audio effects. If you don't understand it, you can start playing with it and make some sense. Okay, so sidechain compression could help, routing it to your kick and snare. Learn. Just type in sidechain compression Ableton Live. You need to start cleaning up the mix, cutting out some of your lows, reducing your reverb. Everything else, your storytelling, your sections, the way you develop your ideas, really well done for your third production. So thank you for sharing. I just saw one more email. This might probably be the last track that we get into today. I hope that helped. I hope you guys were able to hear what I was doing in my Ableton. It's hard to tell what's going on these days. All right, we got Nathan Kelly flying in, another former 343 student who's killing it. He's getting his music signed, put on labels, hitting some charts. So let's check it out. This will likely be the last track. Let's see. Same song, slightly better mix. Let's check it out. So, all right. Well, I hope that helped. And everyone who has joined us, who I haven't addressed, thanks for joining our feedback sessions happening every Saturday. So I'm going to open up Nathan's track. I am going to hit play, flip the screen.
Batman will make a stand. Wonder Woman will make me wonder. Spider-Man can really climb walls.
Awesome. There we go. Nathan Kelly coming through. He was with us, joined us last week, shared this awesome track, and took my feedback. And yes, Nathan, right off the bat, I can hear a difference. So that's really exciting. You know, mixing is like this deep, dark abyss. Sometimes we just get lost in it, and sometimes we can even ruin the mix and make it even worse. But in this case, Nathan, you took my notes and made it work. Like the first mix that we heard, I felt a little bit, you know, cleaning. There could have been some cleaning in the lower end, and you did a really great job. I felt it immediately. You know, right when I felt the bass, it had a little bit more bounce. I felt more separation between your kick and the bass. And now that there's more room for those two elements, it just really cleaned up the mix, and I actually felt there was more of a bounce. So great, man. That's exciting. I hope you feel that you made progress with this mix, because I can hear the difference immediately. At first I was like, oh man, this is going to be a little challenging, you know, because you usually want to kind of go back and forth, but it was mixing is an emotional thing too. It's a feeling, right? And I was able to tap into how I felt emotionally in the first mix in terms of the lower range, and how I felt like that area needed to be cleaned up. So I felt the bounce. I felt that you really put everything in its little where everything should be. So solid man. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for working with that. Some really great stuff as always. You guys are coming through with some fire. We had a lot of great submissions today. We don't have anything else lined up, so I'm gonna leave you guys with this. You know, everyone that is coming here, or everyone that's coming to support, that's awesome. You know, being plugged into a community is the best thing, and just being productive, being active. Just keep on making the music, keep on sharing it, keep on having these discussions. So everyone that joined us today, you guys are on the right path with just being productive and trying new things out, coming to a place where you can go even further and open up that pathway to get some help. So thanks for joining us. And for those of you who are new, 343labs.com, we do have some amazing courses. If you want to take our virtual courses, sharpen your mixing game, sharpen your production game, beat making, learn about some music theory, maybe work with Logic or Ableton Live, we got Bitwig. So we got a lot to offer beyond what we got going on in our live streams. My name's Adam. I'm Atropolis. I'm an instructor here at 343 Labs. Hopefully I'll be able to hang out with you guys in one of our classrooms. If not, maybe I'll see you guys next week on our session. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and for sharing your music. So yeah, man, all I can say to everybody is keep on doing what you're doing. Some really solid work today. Thank you everybody who came through. We're gonna wrap it up a little bit earlier today, so we'll see you guys for the feedback sections next week, and keep an eye out for our schedule. We got something going on every single day. All right, my name is Atropolis, 343 Labs. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you next week for the feedback sessions. Take care, everybody. Oh, switching it over. Good to see you. Here we go. Goodbye, everybody.